from my seat. I'm very disappointed.
Recently, this New York State Trooper is on patrol. It's like 11:30 at night. He sees this stranded motorist and he pulls up behind him in order to help him. He starts walking to the car. All of a sudden, he's getting shot at.
All I hear is pop, 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 pop.
He heard several pops and realized that he was wounded in his right leg.
The other driver speeds away. He radios in that shots have been fired and that he's been wounded in the leg.
Shot fired, I'm hit. I think my kneecap's broken.
Help arrives and he gets taken to a local hospital for treatment. He's going to be okay. He's treated like a local hero.
We're told this state trooper is stable and recovering from surgery. He's a lifelong New Yorker, and this incident happened about 1.5 miles from where he grew up.
This is his second time trying to help someone where he's been hurt.
Governor Kathy Hochul's office says she intends to reach out to him and his family as he recovers.
This was the scene at Nassau University Medical Center, East Meadow, just moments ago. Look at the applause, fellow troopers saluting and cheering as 27-year-old Thomas Messia left the hospital.
How you feeling, Tom? You blessed, man?
Doing good.
And there's this huge manhunt for the guy who shot him.
We're conducting an all-out search for the suspect vehicle, and we're asking for the public's help. We will not stop until the person is in custody.
But then out of nowhere, the entire case turns upside down. The trooper is suspended.
New York State Trooper now suspended without pay after his story about being shot by a bad guy came under investigation.
Trooper Thomas Messia had to turn in his badge and his gun as this criminal and internal investigation is underway.
A search warrant is executed at his house.
Today, a search warrant was executed at that state trooper's house. Investigators looked through cars and loaded boxes into their vehicles.
And now he's under criminal investigation. The huge manhunt is canceled. So what really happened here? They're not saying yet, but look at this. The New York Post has reported that this guy's father is ex-NYPD, and he was the partner of the NYPD's most notorious crooked cop in all of their history. What are the chances of that being the case, and what really happened here?
As you can imagine, there's a lot of emotion right now. There's a lot of emotion, and I'm going to leave it at that.
You know, when police step over the line and violate your rights, what makes it so egregious is the imbalance of power. You simply can't do anything to stop it at that moment. Just like that, you're up against a giant that you cannot fight alone. That's exactly what happened to a man in Florida who broke his back and became paralyzed in 2021. Instead of the government, he found himself fighting his own insurance company, who only offered him $20,000. But this man did not settle for only $20,000 for his injury. Instead, he called today's sponsor, Morgan & Morgan, and they were able to help him win over $120 million. The reason I like Morgan & Morgan is that they fight for their clients just like I do. As the nation's biggest personal injury law firm, they have the firepower to take on insurance companies and win. The best part is that you don't pay anything unless you win your case. If you or someone you know has been injured and needs help, you can start your claim now at forthepeople.com/thecivilrightslawyer, found in the description, and filling out this simple form, or by scanning the QR code on the screen from your phone's camera. Now let's get back to the video. Officials announced new details into the growing investigation on Long Island, New York, after a state trooper there reported being shot on the Southern State Parkway. Trooper Thomas Messia, age 27, reported that he was shot in the leg by an unknown driver.
Last night, around 11:45 p.m., Trooper Thomas Messia was patrolling westbound on the Southern State Parkway, just east of Exit 17 in West Hempstead, when he spotted a black sedan parked in the median, left side of the roadway. Trooper Messia, who became a state trooper in 2019, pulled up behind the sedan, and he made a note of the license plate number, and he got out of his patrol vehicle.
Last night we had a trooper. This trooper, his one and only intention was to help someone who appeared to need help. Unfortunately, Trooper Messia's good intentions were met with unexpected gunshots directed at him from a coward who, without any provocation or good cause, began to shoot at him.
As he approached the rear of the suspect vehicle, he heard several pops and realized that he was wounded in his right leg. Trooper Messia then retreated to cover behind his patrol vehicle.
Trooper Messia then called for assistance and applied a tourniquet to himself to limit the amount of bleeding.
Shot fired, I'm hit. Westbound Southern State right before exit 17.
Commandant 1026, you have any injuries?
I think my kneecap's broken. 2-6 farm, I'm bleeding pretty good in the legs. Got to turn it on.
Within minutes, other troopers began to arrive at the scene, and one of them transported Trooper Messia to the Nassau County Medical Center for further treatment.
I myself have seen the trooper, but I do know for a fact that Governor Hochul has reached out. I don't know if the superintendent has any further information, but I do know she has clearly expressed her concern. He was alert, he was conscious, and I think that he was very happy to be able to share some moments with us after this very frightful experience for him.
But since then, the case has taken a turn, and authorities have indicated that the story is flawed. Investigators searched his West Hempstead home last weekend. He was suspended without pay on Monday.
New York State trooper now suspended without pay after his story about being shot by a bad guy came under investigation.
Trooper Thomas Messia had to turn in his badge and his gun as this criminal and internal investigation is underway. Now, keep in mind, just days ago, we were there as he was celebrated, applauded by state troopers, along with Nassau County Police, honoring him, saluting him.
Today, a search warrant was executed at that state trooper's house. Investigators looked through cars and loaded boxes into their vehicles. Joe, the state troopers union now says it's monitoring this situation.
Officials said Wednesday that the investigation is far from over and no one has been arrested, but Messia was found to be in violation of their rules and regulations, though they didn't elaborate on how. This is what the troop commander said. I can't get into the specifics of what evidence we have, what was recovered during the search warrant, or what we think may have happened that night. Providing those details at this point could compromise our investigation and our efforts. I can tell you that based on our investigation so far, we have reason to believe that the incident did not occur the way it was reported. The search for the shooting suspect and the getaway vehicle that was initially reported has now been canceled.
We're conducting an all-out search for the suspect vehicle, and we're asking for the public's help.
State police say the vehicle is a black sedan, most likely a Dodge Charger with temporary New Jersey plates 997636T with a custom matte gray exhaust.
The vehicle also has a custom matte gray exhaust tip on each side.
Investigators want anyone with information to call State Police Troop L. That number, 631-756-3300. There is a $5,000 reward.
And troopers who supported their colleague after the incident are now reportedly in disbelief.
Messia now has no authority to take action as a state police member. Troopers are saying they're shocked.
You know, I think at that time, with the information that we had available to us, there was great concern for him. I can tell you that from my seat, I'm very disappointed. I think that it overshadows the outstanding and great work that the members of the state police and the state troopers do each and every day in an attempt to keep the public safe. So I think that there is, as you can imagine, there's a lot of emotion right now. There's a lot of emotion, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Other troopers took Messia's shield, service weapon, and personal guns as part of his suspension and are questioning if Messia could have shot himself. Also, investigators say that Messia's mental health is being considered, and it's not clear yet if criminal charges will be filed. Really, the first thing that was amiss here is the fact that this trooper was wearing a body cam. If he's pulling over to help a stranded motorist, generally cops are going to turn on their emergency lights when they do that. That then would activate the body cam. But the emergency lights were never on. He just had his rear emergency flashers on, which maybe convenient for him, did not activate his body cam. So there's no video of what actually happened here, as explained by the state police.
And one note I might add, we do not have body-worn camera footage of the vehicle shooting ideally itself, or particularly of the vehicle. The cameras, body-worn cameras, they're designed to activate automatically when a full light bar on the patrol car is activated. However, in this instance, Trooper Messia, he activated his rear lights as soon as he saw visible oncoming traffic. His camera did activate when he unholstered his weapon with regard to intended self-defense following the shooting. But at this time, the suspect vehicle, as indicated, had fled.
Obviously, Trooper Messia's story fell apart very quickly when investigators started asking questions and looking into the incident. What do you think happened? I just happened to see, when I was looking for additional updates that may be out there, that the New York Post reported that this Trooper Massia is believed to be the son of Thomas Massia Sr., a former partner of NYPD officer Michael Dowd, one of the most corrupt officers in the Big Apple's history, according to multiple sources. The pair were both busted in the 1990s for running a cocaine ring linking Brooklyn to Suffolk County. I did not have that on my bingo card for this video. Perhaps there is our answer. He's been on all sorts of true crime podcasts, YouTube videos. There's even apparently a documentary about this guy. Just looking at the Wikipedia, Michael Dowd is a former New York City Police Department officer, drug distributor, and enforcer for the Dominican American Diaz criminal organization, who was arrested in 1992 for running a drug ring out of Suffolk County, Long Island, New York. He's the subject of a 2014 documentary film, The 7-5. In the course of his career, Dowd committed a host of crimes, including conspiring with drug traffickers to distribute cocaine, warning drug dealers about upcoming raids, providing them with guns and badges, allegedly planning to abduct a woman in Queens, and stealing food meant for the needy at a church. Dowd located a man who robbed the Diaz drug cartel and, instead of arresting him, turned him over to Diaz. He pocketed several $1,000s a week as a result of corrupt arrangements. Dowd was arrested in 1992. After investigations by the Suffolk County Police, the DEA, and NYPD's Internal Affairs, Dowd was convicted of racketeering and conspiracy to distribute narcotics and sent to prison for his crimes. Sentenced to 16 years, Dowd served 12 years and 5 months. While he was in prison, Dowd claimed he worked as a peer counselor, worked out, read, and ran the addiction and suicide prevention programs. He's been featured on podcasts, periodicals, broadcast radio, and television programs, and was a subject of the documentary film The 7-5. A narrative feature adaptation by Sony Pictures is being produced by John Lesher and Megan Ellison. So what is the real story with Thomas Massia Jr.? Was he up to his father's old ways? Was there some sort of deal going down that went bad? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm curious to know, what do you think happened? Really, anything's on the table at this point. So if you want to follow along, please subscribe both here and at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at JohnBryanESQ, also known as the Civil Rights Lawyer there. Remember, our rights don't end where your fear begins. Freedom is scary. Deal with it.